1-1 draw against Davenport on Friday, and then the 2-0 loss against Purdue Northwest on Sunday. The key words I kept pulling out from just reading like your post-game comments after the game: frustration, disappointment.
Right, for sure.
Can you kind of
elaborate?
Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, when you have 2 games at home and you come out with 1 point, you're always going to be frustrated, especially when you've had enough chances to score goals and to win the game. So of course it's frustrating, but that's because we're competitors and the guys are good enough to compete, and we're not frustrated with their effort. We're not frustrated with them as players. We're just frustrated in the situation. So I think that's really what I meant in terms of my comments. It's kind of 2 different games. We felt really good about our first half on Sunday, and we lost 2-0. And we felt pretty bad about our first half on Friday, and we did much better second half and came back and got the tie. So it was a tough weekend. We knew it was going to be. We're in playoff mode, so it's 1 game at a time right now. So we've moved on as quick as we could because we know that Friday is absolutely massive in terms of where we would be in the standings. But we like our matchup against each of those teams if we have to play them in the playoffs, which might happen. So, we'll get back to work and improve and keep fighting. I mean, that's the message to the guys, and they're up for it. They fought all year long, so nothing's going to change at this point.
So, like you said, Coach, with the kind of the tournament on the horizon and the team shifting into playoff mode here, how do you balance the importance of these last couple of games in terms of standings and playoff positioning and just having some momentum going into the postseason? How do you balance that importance with, at the same time, not making it bigger than it is or bigger than it needs to be,
Right. I think that's always a trick, is trying to make sure that the players understand the importance of a match, but not overhype it, because it's all 1 match at a time right now. So the way we go about it is we just go about our business from a tactical or sporting perspective. We match up with the opposition. We game plan how we're going to build. We're going to game plan how we defend. We're going to look at our set pieces and how they match up. So from a coaching perspective, for us, it's all about the sporting and the technical. The players and the culture manage the emotions and manage the locker room, and they've done a fantastic job of doing that through our leadership council and obviously our captain, Alex. So we try not to get into balancing their emotions and trying to sort of operate in that realm, because that's something we can't control. We can only control how we play and what we do when we're on the ball, what we do when we're off the ball. So in terms of the emotions and their psyche, we just try to stay focused on the task at hand, and use emotion when you need it. And I think that's the message that we try to draw, and usually that's probably before the game, right before the game or at halftime. But in the middle of the week, we're in the middle of the week, we're working. It's the standard that we've asked the guys to have each day in and day out, no matter the weather, no matter what's going on, and that's the standard that's going to be expected this season, next season, and every season that we're us as a staff are part of this program. So for us, the expectation is that they're going to come to work today, to get to work and to get better and to start preparing for the weekend, and they have to manage their emotions and understanding that yes, it's a big game Friday, but it's 1 game, and we've got another game Sunday, and we've got Parkside next Wednesday, and then we've got a playoff game on Sunday, the following Sunday. So it's a tough thing to balance. You're absolutely right. But for us, we're going to rely on our leadership to help do that.
So then, taking it one game at a time, if you will. St. Cloud is coming up next with Upper Iowa to round out the road trip there. Thoughts on the week ahead?
For sure, it's going to be an absolutely tough weekend again in the GLIAC. St. Cloud is doing very, very well. They've improved since we played them last. They're right behind us in the standings. It's a night game. It's a little bit of their homecoming weekend. So Friday night is actually going to be a really special opportunity for our guys to play in a really awesome atmosphere. And so we're going to have to, again, manage the emotions, manage how we kind of deal with the ups and downs of that match of a team that's surging and looking to get revenge, because we did beat them here. So that's going to be a tough game. And then obviously Upper Iowa, haven't won any games in conference. And so they're going to look at us and say, hey, why not today? So the same message for Sunday as it is for Friday. We need to go and get the job done. We need to continue to try to finish our chances, stop giving away cheap goals, and hopefully we can get ourselves in a good position to make Wednesday's game at Parkside really mean something in terms of hosting a playoff game or not. So we'll see how it goes. But yeah, Friday night's going to be tough, and so we're focused on St. Cloud, and we'll get to Upper Iowa on Friday night.
So, like you said, Coach, it's been the leadership council and the leadership you've gotten from these guys has been
amazing. Amazing.
A lot about that.
Yeah.
And so when you deal with like the frustration and the disappointment of the past couple of matches, or with the long season, like those ups and
For
downs
sure.
that you talked about, what is it going to take in your mind to kind of push this team over the edge? If you go to, like you said, you got to take advantage of those opportunities when you get their way. Stop giving things away easy. What is it going to take to kind of push the team over the edge?
That's a really good question, and you know what? If I had that answer, right, we'd be in a much better position right now. But I think the message for the guys hasn't changed all year long. They have the ability to get the job done. They just need to be consistent in their habits. And so I think what it's going to take for us to get the job done, and for us getting the job done, is winning the GLIAC tournament, which we know we can. We've tied and played Saginaw, who's probably going to win the league very well in 2 games and at their place. So we know if we get a chance to get to Saginaw or get to wherever the Final Four is, that we're going to have a chance to win the tournament. So that's what we would consider success. So the answer getting there is for us to be consistent with our habits on and off the field for the next 2 weeks. And that means making sure you get your rest and making sure you're eating well and doing all the little things that us as coaches aren't seeing. And that's what I would expect a group of players that really wants to lift a trophy to do, is to make sure that everybody is all in. And I think that's the only way to go about it. For us, we're going to continue to game plan and continue to analyze what we do and how we can get better. There's limited opportunities to train at this point. So for us, it's fine-tuning and make sure we have the right game plan. But it's all in the players. It's kind of, it's like giving them sort of free reins to go win the game. Because soccer really, at the end of the day, is a player's game. We don't get timeouts. We don't get stoppages where we can bring them up and huddle. They rarely hear us. I don't know why I coach from the sidelines, because I know they don't hear me as much. But soccer is a player's game, so they ultimately have to just go out and do the job. And for us, we're just going to continue to tell them and give them the tools that they can do it, and that if they just start hurting themselves, that we're right in it. So that's the message, and I think that's the only way we can go win this thing. But it's going to start for Friday with Saginaw. We have to have a good game plan, and we have to come out and be ready to fight against a team who's looking to surpass us and ultimately get revenge from the first game. So we have to be up for the fight. We weren't up for it on Sunday. Purdue came and got the best of us, so we've got to match that on Friday against St. Cloud.